Hello and welcome to day 13 of the Christmas Craft Countdown, where I'm sharing a new Cricut Papercraft project every day for 20 days. Today's project is this beautiful nativity scene, which has been designed to look like a stained glass pattern. The SVG for this is free to download for the next 24 hours, so let's find out how to get it. If you haven't already registered your free ticket for the Christmas Craft Countdown, go to craftwithsarah.com/CCC to do so. Once registered, check for an email from me with subject line Christmas Craft Countdown ticket information or any of the other emails from me that you've been sent throughout this countdown. Can't find them? Check your junk or spam box to see if they've gone there by mistake. These emails contain the link to view the countdown projects and download today's files. Scroll down the page to find today's project. Click the button to start the files automatically downloading to your computer or mobile device. Each download is only available for free for 24 hours after it goes live. If you have missed some, check out the Instant Access Bundle at craftwithsarah.com/CCC bundle, which gives immediate and ongoing access to all of the files from the Christmas Craft Countdown. All downloads come in zip folders. You need to unzip them before you can upload the files into Cricut Design Space. Once you've downloaded and unzipped the folder, open up Cricut Design Space and start a new project. Go into Upload over on the left and then Upload Image. Make sure you choose the unzipped version of the folder and then the file to upload is the one which starts SVG in the file name. Click and drag that in. And then it should look like this with all of the layers one on top of the other. If yours looks different and you see all the layers next to each other instead, that means you've accidentally uploaded the wrong file type. So if that's the case, click cancel down on the bottom and try again and make sure you choose the one which starts SVG. This is looking good, so I'm going to press upload. And then it will appear in my recent uploads, so I can click it to get the green border and then press add to canvas. Here's my design, and to resize it, make sure the padlock icon is closed, so click it to close it, and you might have to click it twice, it's a bit buggy, and then you can resize it however big you want it to be. I'm going to do mine at 7.75 inches wide, and the height is slightly different, so it's not quite circular, but it's such a small difference you probably won't even be able to tell. If you did want to make it perfectly circular, untick that padlock and just change it in there so it's the same, but you see that barely even changed. This is ready to cut out as is, so go ahead and press make it and it will separate everything out onto the different colours. You can change your paper size in this drop down here, and you do need to do it for every single colour. When you're happy with how everything's looking, press continue to connect to your Cricut machine, get everything cut out from cardstock, and then we'll see how to stick together this lovely nativity scene. Here are all of my layers cut out and I've laid them one on top of the other to check that I'm happy with everything. Now this design is a little bit different to my other layered designs because I'm not going to use any 3D foam squares to give it dimension. And that's because we're going for this stained glass effect, and if you start adding the 3D foam squares, it won't look like stained glass anymore. So every single layer will be glued, which means this is going to be a fairly uninteresting tutorial really, but I'm still going to include the footage. I'll just speed it all up so that you can see how it all goes together without me having to talk through the same thing a million times. However, for the first few layers, I will just go through them in real time so that you can see how to put it together. The glue I'm using is called Kalal. I really like it because it doesn't bend or wrinkle the cardstock like some glues can do, and then I put it into these needle tip bottles. This is going to be so helpful for this design, especially going around all of these teeny tiny little edges. They're very narrow, so something with a thin tip is going to be really helpful. As with all my layered designs, we're going to start at the bottom and work our way upwards. So I'm going to smooth these apart until I'm just left with the bottom two layers, which are these two. So I turn this one upside down and add some glue. Now this one's quite hard to see because it's white on a white table. So I'm going to do this one quickly and then I'll talk you through the next layer in a little bit more detail. When it comes to sticking it on, you don't need to worry about which way round it goes because it is perfectly circular. So however you want to put it on is just fine. It doesn't have a particular top and bottom or anything like that. Just make sure you line it up really well against those sides. I did that one quickly, so let's take our time on the next one, which is this one, creating the star along the top. So what you want to make sure you do with this design is that as well as adding your glue to the big pieces like this, where you've got lots of room for that glue, you also want to try, if you can, to put it around all of the edge like this. So I'm just whizzing around that entire circle there, and then into some of the details. So I can go down these lines, for instance. And the reason for this is it's going to give you a much better stick. It will appear flatter with all of the layers, which will enhance that stained glass appearance. Because we've now stuck one layer on, now we do need to be careful with our alignment to make sure this matches up with what's already there. I'm using those sort of sunburst, starburst lines at the top to get this into place. Because the lines are so thin, I don't want to push it down really hard with the glue because I don't want it to smush out the sides, because then it just won't look as pretty. So I'm just very gently tapping it to make sure it will stick, but I'm not going to press down firmly. The layers start to get a little bit more fiddly from now on in, especially kind of this one where you've got even more of these thin lines. But all the rest of the layers, we're going to glue every single one of them. So here's a little sped up version of me doing an awful lot of gluing. We're on to the very last layer now, which is definitely the hardest. Look how thin that is. Very, very skinny. And I'm going to take my time on this because I don't want to accidentally get any glue on the wrong side of it. So I'm just going to go around these edges, and I'm hardly squeezing my bottle at all. I just want the tiniest bit of glue. One thing you could try if you don't want to do this with glue is you can get kind of a spray glue which comes in a can, a bit like a spray paint can. So it's just sort of adhesive that you spray. I haven't ever used it personally, so I can't vouch for if it's any good or not, but if you want to make this design and you're worried about gluing it all so narrow, that might be something to try. Just make sure you do it in a well-ventilated area, because obviously you're using an aerosol product. There's a flock of geese flying about outside at the moment. It's so noisy. I don't know if my microphone will be picking it up, but if you can hear some really weird noises, it's geese. Right, is that all of it? I can't remember what bits I've done. That's what I get for talking when I should be concentrating. Okay. Get this lined up. The hardest one. Again, I'm just lightly dabbing down to get it stuck, but without risking that glue smushing over the edges. There we go, that all looks fairly well stuck. And that's my nativity design done. And even though we only glued it, It still does have quite a lot of depth and dimension because of all the different colours. So it still looks really, really nice. And these bright colours really pop against that black outline. I'm really happy with how this has turned out. I hope you enjoyed this video on how to make this stained glass effect nativity scene. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel for loads more Cricut and Christmas crafts. I hope to see you again tomorrow for day 14 of the Christmas Craft Countdown. Thank you for watching. Bye!